Hello and welcome to the Trent Valley Railway for the October 2018 layout update. In this update we'll have the latest on the incline build. As we look around this section here that I'm currently working on, you'll notice in the corner that's just sort of wedged into the wall at the moment. We'll look at the safety measures in place for the incline. Here is the safety measure that I've put into place on the incline. And we'll have a look at some trains being tested up and down the incline. So over the past month I've continued building the incline from the fiddle yard up to the next level up, which will be the scenic level for the layout. I've now got as far as going all the way around past the garage, underneath the section which is already covered on top, and now down into this corner before it then near enough reaches the fiddle yard level. If we look at the second level where the London Midland train is, this is where I've got to so far. I've nearly reached that fiddle yard level, but you can see on the right hand side there that it's still propped up in some places, and I'm yet to fully fix this into the wall for the corner piece here, but it'll do for the short sort of period of testing that I want to do to make sure that this is the right gradient, all the trains go up and down the incline and everything's working before I then commit to sort of building it and making sure that it nicely flows into the fiddle yard level. You may have noticed that the incline is in a different position to where I had the test incline in the previous layout updates, and this is where I'm looking to make sure that it doesn't clash with any of the garage wall as it comes around the corner at the top there with the breeze blocks. And then as it comes down towards the fiddle yard level, I've also made sure that it stays in a straight line here as it comes towards the next breeze block in the centre of the garage. And then I've used the Woodland Scenics 2% foam risers there to provide a nice gradient down and onto the fiddle yard. I've still got a bit of work to do here to fully integrate the incline into this fiddle yard level. I need to work out how I want to create that incline so it creates a nice smooth transition as it either goes up or comes down off that fiddle yard level. So I'll be doing further work over the next month along this section here, and then back up towards where that corner hasn't been finished yet, to make sure that the incline is probably going to be propped up off the fiddle yard board rather than sort of fixing it to the wall at the side of the garage. So looking at the same section here but looking down from above, you'll notice as well that the incline as it reaches towards the fiddle yard, the wood, I haven't got enough at the moment to create a sort of double track section along there, so I've just only got just about enough for a single track along that thin piece of wood. I need to go and get some more plywood, cut it up to the right size, and then also do the same. So you'll see on the top level there where I've got the single track but there is space for two, that needs to be cut properly to size all the way along with new pieces of plywood. As we look around this section here that I'm currently working on, you'll notice in the corner that's just sort of wedged into the wall at the moment. I've got a fixing in place there as it comes around the bend, and then the framework is the same as what I showed in the previous video in terms of using some PSE timber here. I've got them in 2.4 lengths, but they've been cut down, and these are 18 by 28 mil, small pieces here, and then the incline then carries on around that corner there, climbing up underneath the section which has already got sort of the top level scenic level framework on it. So here is the safety measure that I've put into place on the incline, and this is pipe insulation from Wicks. I've got these in effectively packs of 5, and I'll just talk you through now the reason for why I've introduced this onto the incline as part of the sort of testing and building as we go forward. Towards the garage end of the layout, and you'll have seen that this section was in construction in the previous September layout update, and since then I've been testing trains, which you'll also see shortly in this video. But however, testing trains in some instances has resulted in potentially a few minor issues. It's a long way down from that section of the layout, particularly to the floor of the garage, but also, as you can see, as it's climbing up here, it's quite a distance between the fiddle yard level and then the scenery section level. There's obviously the distance there that I've spoken about in previous videos, but to make sure when things go wrong that I don't have any major disasters, particularly at this end here around the corners, what I've done is I've added in some pipe insulation, and I've got this from Wicks. This is standard stuff, which is flexible for domestic plumbing and heating, but I've sort of used it in this to basically create barriers at the side of the incline to make sure that if we do have a derailment and a train comes off the track, then hopefully it sort of crashes into this foam pipe insulation rather than having any major catastrophe where the trains get damaged. So this is the cheapest solution I could find to the issue without basically building some other sort of plywood barrier or extending the PSC up the side, particularly in the area where you've got the corner piece over here, and sort of creating a PSC sort of timber wall at the edge of the curve would have been very challenging. Would have been pretty expensive and time consuming to put in place. So using this pipe insulation, the great thing about it is it's flexible, it's quite cheap. I've bought quite a lot of it. It was on offer when I bought it, also reduced, and then I got another code when I bought quite a lot of this. So I've got effectively enough to cover the incline all the way round, once I've cut the boards to the right size to enable the sort of double track running up and down the incline. And so here is exactly why I have added those foam pipes onto the incline, to make sure that when it does derail, the actual train is then contained on the incline and doesn't fall down. Before we see some trains on test on the incline, I just want to say a huge thank you to all the new subscribers. It's much appreciated. Hope you enjoyed my exhibition videos from the Great Electric Train Show, which was from the Hornby magazine, held in Milton Keynes last weekend. It was a good show, lots of great layouts. Take a look at the video if you haven't already. Lots more of those type of videos coming up, lots more layout updates on the way as well every month. And keep your eyes open, because I'm nearly there for a 1,000 subscriber special coming soon. Cheers and enjoy some of the running videos.